there are some good useful key bindings. So let's go through some of them now. An explorer wants to have set speed to 75% mapped for sure. I've mapped it to B plus RB on my Xbox Elite controller. It's extremely useful because it basically means you can hit that speed that prevents you from overshooting planets, the maximum speed that you can go without overshooting a planet, and you need to hit that when the timer gets down to 6. If you go past 6 to 5 or 4, you're definitely going to overshoot no matter how slow you're going. So yep, that's very useful. Another useful one for explorers is toggle orbit lines. It's a new one since 1.4 I think, and it's extremely useful because you are going to constantly want to be referring to the orbit lines, but you don't want them always there because they are pretty ugly and they distract from the immersion of the game. Target next system and route is extremely important. You also want to set some of these wingman navlock, select wingman's target if you're working with a wing. That's very useful for explorers. You want your silent running to basically be unassigned or assigned to something extremely hard to press, because you don't want to accidentally press that and forget what it is. Always remember that you can find it in the functions tab of the navigation the systems panel. And this new set of options since Horizons is extremely useful. Basically, it decides what happens when you look at a panel. So I've switched the systems panel and the target panel, which is basically a navigation panel, to do nothing when you look at them, because I work with the Oculus Rift and I don't like it when it keeps popping up when I'm trying to look at something out my window. So I've set those to a binding. Here it's X plus RB and X plus LB for those two, and I recommend you do the same. Another thing I highly recommend doing, is investing time into comprehending some of the scales and sizes and brightnesses and distances in this game, because everything is to scale, and because it's to scale you can actually fathom a lot of the awesomeness and amazingness and hugeness of the universe, and don't let that opportunity go to waste, because this is one of the first games of its kind to be able to actually help you achieve those things. You can get a better understanding of how the cosmos works than someone who studies astrophysics, just purely from your experience. You've got experience in the field, but unfortunately the game doesn't lend itself much to helping you comprehend these distances, thanks to it being quite easy to access. So you've got an exponentially increasing supercruise that brings you from the star to a planet in minutes or seconds, even sometimes if it's really close, and you don't quite understand that you've gone 90 million miles, 100 billion miles, whatever it is, for really far ones. So I strongly recommend you invest time into learning what a light second is, trying to fathom it, learning how big these planets that are now to scale are, especially now that you can land on them if you have Horizons, going down onto the planet, going into a crater, driving across the crater even if it takes an hour, then flying back into space and looking at that crater in the grand scheme of things and the relation to the entire planet, memorizing the brightnesses of stars. In fact, one good thing that you can do for every star is to go to 1 AU away from it. 1 AU is the distance between Earth and the Sun, and then just stopping and taking a look and seeing how big it is in the sky and comparing it to the Sun, and it helps you fathom some of the differences in sizes and brightnesses of the different stars in the universe. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm going to have a whole series based on that using another game called Space Engine. Plus I've already got some videos on my channel about that. You can go and look for them now, and I recommend you subscribe, because I'm going to be coming out with a series of videos designed to help you comprehend the scale of things in the universe, and it's going to be very good. Anyway, I hope you have benefited from some of these techniques and you now consider yourself advanced explorers. I've given you tools and techniques to practice and hone your skills on, and remember, heat vent caution, very, very important. Okay, so long Space Cowboys. This is the final video in the Advanced Exploration series. In case you missed the first ones, click here for the first parts where we talk about advanced jumping techniques, including the swoop and scoop method and how to get more out of your route plotter. In part 2, we spoke about some advanced navigation techniques, including looking at stellar classification as well as decoding the UC naming conventions. And in part 3, we looked at getting good at finding planet types and listening to planet sounds. So click away, enjoy, and stay tuned for some more advanced exploration technique videos coming up when I can think of stuff to say. So long, Space Cowboys!